After this, another question that is commonly asked is the question relating to the apostate. The apostate law, which is well known, is that the apostate is killed in Islam. This is how it is stated. But in the 21st century, where we have freedom to read what we want, freedom to think what we want, how does this law apply in a modern context? And is this a draconian law, a law which is medieval? The answer would be that this law is not a law unlike the law of treason. It is similar to the law of treason. The context of this law is that if there is a male, because the women are not killed and a child is not killed within the apostate law, they are not killed. If a male who lives in a Muslim society decides to leave Islam, the governor or the ruler of that region will determine, is this male individual committing treason and therefore declaring himself a non-Muslim? This action of treason is what the legislation is relating to. That if he is doing this as a political statement and as a threat to society, the punishment is mentioned as an apostate punishment, that the person is killed by the governor, by the government, not by individual vigilante groups. But if a person would want to leave Islam as a religion, he could always leave the Muslim country and declare himself as an apostate. The Muslim government will not have any authority over that person out of their borders. Outside of their borders, they will have no authority. After having said this, historically speaking and currently speaking, have there been people in the Muslim world who declared themselves as non-believers, yet they were unharmed by the society they lived in? The answer would be yes. If you check Muslim history, you will have multiple groups and religions of former Muslims who declared themselves non-Muslims, and they even had the freedom to debate Muslim scholars. For instance, in the first 100 years of Islam, in the city of Basra and in the city of Kufa, multiple debates would take place between Muslims and non-Muslims, or Muslims and former Muslims within the masajid, within the mosques. The government did not apply this law except on those individuals who were a threat to the state. A second reason why this law is applied is because if a man is married to a Muslim woman, has Muslim children, and then chooses to declare himself a non-Muslim, this leads to the breakdown of the infrastructure of the family, as well as the infrastructure of the society. And this is why this is counted as treason. But is the person killed straight away? The answer is no. The person is taken to court, goes through a trial, a process, is jailed. Scholars will be brought in to discuss with him as to what his reasons for leaving Islam are. They will determine, are the reasons politically motivated? Then the final judgment will be left to the ruler. So the law is not as clear as some make, including some Muslims, that anyone who leaves Islam is killed. So they attempt to apply this law outside of a Muslim country or within a Muslim country, but doing this through vigilante means. Remember, if there are any points of clarification needed, you can send your questions to the front, or you can ask at questions and answers. Also, to clarify this, the killing of the apostate is carried out by the government, which I mentioned at the beginning, this ruling is known as ahkam sulta, judgments of the government. An individual has no right to apply this law.